I've worked there for the last 3-4 years. I've been chief judge for the last 2.
I will speak first, and then if Whitney's here, she can back me up or support me.
And we've also got, if you all need to speak, just stand up. I can't really see you over there, but if you need to speak.
I think we all have copies of North Carolina General Statute 16341 that talks about this process, and it says that the parties will appoint or recommend people to the Board of Elections. And so those were the lists that we were working from, and it kind of leaves out unaffiliated and libertarian voters. If we're only getting lists from the 2 parties, then that's who we have to work with. So I guess there is another possibility that there could be an outside recommendation. I think Mr. Bennett is going to recommend himself to the board, and that will be another option for you all to choose from today for Precinct 33.
And Mr. Bennett, you are not, what are you?
I've been the chief judge in 33 for the past 2 years. I live within a mile of the place.
What's your political affiliation, I think is what he's asking.
I originally was Republican. However, I eliminated that because I could not vote in any city elections.
And
so I went unaffiliated.
Currently, you are registered as a
unaffiliated
voter.
So can we nominate him for that position?
Sure you can. Well, yeah, you can recommend it for it. Sure you can.
Yeah.
Second.
We can do that.
Okay, this is what I recommend.
Okay, so hang on just 1 second, Tom. It's been moved.
Yeah, that's what
you're totally right.
This is what I
this is,
recommend.
no, you're totally right.
I understand that position, but I would suggest that for these precincts that have this controversy, if the Republican Party and the Democratic Party have someone that they want to recommend that's in precinct, they do that, and then we do that at another meeting as opposed to taking these nominations from the board.
Don, would you just repeat that for me one more time?
A little louder,
what I am
please.
saying, I'm sorry, what I'm saying is that since we have this controversy as opposed to nominating from the floor, since it's essentially opened back up again, that we give both parties, Democrat and Republican, and if you know someone affiliated who's interested, to submit those names to the board for us to consider at a later meeting.
May I? Yes. My understanding is that the Democrats have nominated, we're in 33, Regina Stanley King as Chief Judge nominee in Precinct 33, and that the Republicans have nominated an in-precinct voter, who was this gentleman, I didn't get your name, sir.
Bennett.
Mr. Bennett, to be a Chief Judge in that precinct, and he is an in-precinct nominee, and therefore I think it goes off of this list and onto a different list, does it not?
Let me
majority vote.
let me also say, and Michael, if I got this wrong, his name never came forward because he wasn't a Republican and he wasn't a Democrat. And that is why there's a Democrat appointed in there. But he has come to this meeting to say that in fact he would like to do it. He is in precinct, we all recognize that, but he is unaffiliated. He was on neither of those lists.
That's correct.
I appreciate that point.
I have a
I don't see any. The question, I guess, is do you want to reopen everything for unaffiliated people to come forward and put themselves forward in all these precincts, or
does that if in fact we do that, it then becomes a majority vote?
Yes. But actually, he's in precinct.
no? If he's in precinct and Ms. Stanley King is out of precinct, my understanding is that Ms. Stanley King can't be appointed.
That's correct.
Yeah, is that correct?
Yeah.
But what
the way the law is written is that you must appoint him because he is in precinct and he has been recommended by the party.
I understand. But my question is, the recommendations...
I don't think this problem...
Stop. We're having a board meeting. You've got to stop, John. She's got to be able to speak.
My question is, and I understand what you're saying, but my question is, we're sitting here with things that were nominated in advance before, as opposed to taking nominations from the floor. So what I'm suggesting is that we maintain order and get the proper nominations like we've gotten these, and then have them presented to the board in order, as opposed to all this from the floor stuff.
I think that makes a lot of sense, and what I would like to propose, and I'd be willing to put this in the form of a motion, is that there be 1 week given for people, the parties, Republicans, the Democrats, and everybody, you know, to bring forward the names of, for instance, this situation, and there may be another situation that is the case. Would you be comfortable with that? With a time frame of a
I'm
week,
comfortable with a
i.e.
time frame of a
next
week.
Friday? Michael, if it's a quick question.
Yes, it involves this more to Michael Perry. How were the other unaffiliateds presented to the board? People like Tanner and Pat Baker, and somehow Mr. Bennett was missed.